Me through a few of those, because when you say common sense, other people say if it's common sense, why not either let Congress have a hand in it, or if it flies in the face of the constitutional right to obviously bear arms, we ought not do it. So can you walk me through a few common sense ideas that the president would have that might make sense in an executive action on guns?
Mm-hmm. Well, the first idea is this idea that there should be a law on the books that prevents individuals who are deemed too dangerous by the government from boarding an airplane from being able to buy a gun. That's common sense. That's consistent with our national security interests. And at least 85% of New Hampshire Republicans agree with that notion, according to that poll that I read at the top. About half of those households have gun owners in them. So I think that's an indication that there's certainly strong bipartisan support for a common sense measure like that. Another example would be closing the gun show loophole. This is essentially a loophole that allows some individuals who purchase firearms at a gun show being able to purchase that firearm without submitting to a background check. Again, this is the kind of proposal that would make it harder for criminals, for those who are the subject of a restraining order, or those with mental problems, from being able to buy a gun. And again, it would not undermine the basic constitutional rights of law-abiding Americans. I know that there's a similar proposal that applies to individuals who seek to purchase firearms over the internet. There's a similar loophole there. And again, according to this latest poll of New Hampshire Republicans, about half of whom are gun owners, 75% of them support closing that gun show loophole. So I think that's an indication that, again, these are consistent with common sense. They're consistent with protecting constitutional rights. They're consistent with national security. They have strong bipartisan support. We just need to get Congress to act.
Will the president then propose that? Will he do that in an executive order? Because if you're saying on the one hand, listen, we think this is all legal, we think it's well within our right, why not just have him do it?
Well, the question about whether or not the president has the authority to do it is a different one. And the president has asked his attorneys, both here at the White House and at the Department of Justice, to look carefully at the law to determine what kinds of authorities the president does have to pass executive actions that would implement some of these common sense steps. And this is something that is currently under consideration by the president's legal team.
Any timetable on when he might get a review from his legal team on that?
I don't have an updated timetable for you at this point. Obviously this is something they've been working on for quite some time, and hopefully that's something that we could see in relatively short order.